I am Julia McKeowen and welcome. I am so honored today to be interviewing the beautiful Tina van Leuven. I am a really old friend of hers and I have worked with her for many years. She has coached me in business and in life. When she rang me and said, "Hey, Julia, would you like to interview me for the Joy Evolution?" I was like, yes. I would absolutely love to, be able to ask you questions around your journey, because the one thing that I have experienced from Tina that stands out from everything else is her journey of joy and how infectious that is, how much of an influence that had on my life. So I'm very happy to be here. Welcome, Tina.
Yay, thank you, Julia. Woo.
This is exciting. So I would love to know, what is your journey of joy throughout your life? How has this become a theme for you?
Yeah. Well, like many people I think can relate to, I grew up in a family that wasn't exactly very joyful from the very early days, had a lot of unsettling situations in the early days, including one of them being that my mom found out that she was pregnant with me. When she went to the doctor asked her if she realized that my biological father had a history of schizophrenia, and that becoming a father, hearing that news, might just trigger that. And it did. And so from a very young age, I remember growing up with this madness, this chaos around me, and feeling responsible for my father's health condition. And then when my parents ended up separating, and who I call my dad came into my life, both my parents were not very fluent in emotional expression. So it's something that, feeling like I grew up in a world, in an environment where I knew that I had come into this world being this joy, this ray of sunshine, and yet wondering if I had been dropped off on the wrong planet or in the wrong family, because it was so chaotic. So I took on from a very early age that it was my role to create some stability there, and to take on people's stuff, to try and make people feel better, or to feel more joy or feel happier. And that led to becoming an excellent people pleaser, and then having to unlearn all of that in my later years. Yes, it's been an incredible journey. And I think over the years that the key piece that has run through everything that I have done has been, I will do something for as long as I'm enjoying it. And if I'm not enjoying it anymore, it's not fun for me anymore, whether that's was a job, I've been in different careers, whether it's been in relationships, whether it's been anything at all. If it wasn't fun for me anymore, then I would either find ways to bring more fun into it. Because when my flying days, I had such juicy benefits that I was like, I wasn't ready to let that go. So I was like, let me see how I can make that more fun. And finally it was like, no, can't do it anymore. Yeah. Or, if it wasn't fun, I wouldn't say, you know what, I've got to let it go. So I've made some pretty big drastic changes throughout my life, letting go of a lot of things and starting over and over and over again. And yeah, just realizing that at the end of the day, I think we don't end up on our deathbed asking how much more could I have done, but you look back on how much joy, how much love, how much wonderful things you have experienced. And that's sort of how my joy evolution has unfolded.
Oh, beautiful and so true. Really, it's about the experiences. And I'm sure everyone that is getting a sense of you right now can probably agree with this, that you are a beaming joy. You really have embodied this state of being.
Mm.
And throughout my experience of working with you, I became really well aware of how much I was preventing myself from feeling and accessing joy, and how much I was choosing experiences in life where I thought I had to do something, and I was really finding the joy zapped from my life. And it actually was quite confronting to think, oh, I'm allowed to choose joy.
Mm.
Like, I can do this. Is this something that you come across when you work with people or your interactions with people, that they're just not aware of how much more joy is available to them.
Absolutely. And, I've recently experienced this myself too. I went through a phase of complete unplugging that lasted for a good 6 months where I was not feeling inspired. If I did receive inspiration, then I didn't have the passion to see things through. And it was like, what the fuck? And it was this phase of recognizing places within me and within my body where I had not allowed joy in. I was absolutely amazed because really I thought, if anyone is really living this, it's me. It was like what that voice was telling me. Like, nah. So I find that with clients too, and others, that oftentimes we tend to have definitions of what joy is or what brings us joy that are based on expectations or of standards set by others. And so what many people tend to do is compare themselves to others. And as they say, comparison is the thief of joy. You may find that certain things that used to bring you joy no longer bring you joy, and yet then you feel obligated, or you've invested so much time, energy, or money into something that you don't want to let it go. And when someone has this awareness of like realizing, oh my gosh, this isn't bringing me joy anymore, it tends to bring up why you have tolerated what you have tolerated in your life, which can be incredibly confronting. Because once you are aware of it, you have a choice to let that go or to hold on to it, realizing that you are the one at choice as to how much joy you allow yourself to experience in every area of your life. So they say it takes courage to be joyful and to be happy. And I always used to question that. I'm like, why? What are they talking about? It's just what you are. And then realizing, how much courage it takes to show up as the light and the joy that you are in this world, when so many others in society expect you to live up to an image or an expectation that may not be a true reflection of who you are. So it can be a very confronting journey, and yet also incredibly liberating. And many people don't realize until you start questioning some things and look to see, okay, have you asked yourself, why are you doing what you're doing? Why are you living where you're living? Why are you, whatever it is that you're doing, why are you spending your time and your energy in something? If it lights you up, awesome. And if it doesn't, then oftentimes there'll be a lot of fear underneath that, or self-doubt, or, discovering that you at some level felt that you're not worthy and all that stuff. So it's a really, on the surface, it seems a really simple thing to say, yes, I choose joy. Yet what it stirs up is everything that has not allowed that to come into light, which is a beautiful process, but it can be incredibly vulnerable, and it can be painful, and it can be real. It can bring up a lot of grief and a lot of suppressed emotions. But yet once you connect in with the joy that you are, and you let that light and that joy move through all those emotions, clearing that from your body and your life, it's like a game changer.
Oh yes, that has been my experience, and it has been a confronting journey. Absolutely. So it would be great if you could share a little bit about that. What can people expect when they begin to choose joy?
That's a juicy question. Well, truth being is that joy is a unique experience for everyone. So one of the things I remember, I think I asked you that, to come up with 10 things to do purely for the fun of it, and how challenging that was at the time, right? And that is something I said for people to take some time to feel into, okay, come up with a list of 10 things. Start with 3 if that's challenging. Come up with 3 things that are really, really fun for you, that no particular outcome attached, but you would do just for the fun of you. What that does is it will start to have you question, when you're going about your everyday experiences, does this actually feel fun for me? Does this actually light me up? Or am I doing these things out of obligation? Am I doing these things out of fear? Am I doing these things out of guilt? Fear, obligation, guilt are some of the biggest joy zappers, and they play out in so many ways. So when you start saying, I choose joy, it will bring to light all the places where you have not allowed yourself to experience joy. And this can, depending on how deep you're willing to go, it can be really, really confronting at times.
Oh yeah. See, even just hearing you share this is taking me back through my personal journey of choosing joy. And the thing that came up for me so strongly was when I realized, wow, I'm not choosing joy. I'm doing things out of obligation. I'm doing things out of fear. Being around, I think it was 35 years of age at the time, I felt so sad. And it's so sad when I look back at my life and realize, when did I stop choosing joy? And it was around, early 20s. And I actually went through a process of grieving for those lost years. And, and then as I started to choose things, like as you suggested, bringing back joy into my life, yes, it was confronting, and I resisted against that whole experience for so long. But when I look back, maybe a couple years later, I realized that every single day I'm doing these cute, quirky, fun little things that bring me joy, and they're just a part of my life. And this choosing joy journey is just ongoing for me. There's still so much to unravel, but I've noticed the difference that it has made in who I am as a person. So it's a powerful, rewarding journey. Yeah. So I would love for you to share about the Joy Evolution Summit. So what is this about? Yeah.
Earlier in the year, I received this download where it was like, we are the Joy Evolution. I even put it up, created an image for it and put it up on my Facebook page as a banner with a post with, we are the Joy Evolution, not realizing at the time that that was a preview of Life's Coming Attractions, right? I've been feeling like I had been undergoing all these joy upgrades in my life, and that it meant needing time to review everything in my life, like on a physical level, and also energetically, and even in practical things in business, as to which systems I was using to operate the business. Were they feeling aligned? Was that energy light or not? And it was amazing, made quite some changes. So a few months ago, I suddenly received this inspiration, realizing that I love to do interviews with people, and I put a post out on Facebook to say I was feeling inspired to do these interviews again, and that the intention would be to really show people what's possible when you embody joy. So not just thinking about it, but actually bringing it into your heart, bringing it into your body, so that joy becomes your way of being and showing up in the world, and how that supports you with expressing your divine brilliance, and how that then translates into abundance in every area of your life. And next thing I know, I'm starting to get responses from people. Yeah, I'm in. I had no details. I had no title. I had no idea of what the actual practical side of things would look like. So I was like, okay, one puzzle piece at a time. I sent a message to everyone. I think there were 10 people that responded just from that post, that I would send them information soon. So I'm sitting down and I'm going, okay, all right, Source, give me a download. What's next? And I received these little puzzle pieces until I had just enough puzzle pieces, where you have a puzzle and you can start to get a sense of what the bigger picture is going to look like. I didn't have all the pieces yet, but I had enough pieces to get a sense of what was the next step. And I sent out the invite to people to schedule in their interviews and to fill in a form with their info and just see what would happen next. So one of the ladies then asked me, okay, can you send me the details as to when the interviews will be aired? And I'm like, okay, hang on. Writing down what that's going to look like. And I'm writing down what I'm getting. And the funniest thing was, by the time I was finished, I saw that this was going to mean that there were going to be 30 speakers. And when I discovered that, I said to Source, are you freaking kidding me? Jeez. I'm like, okay, I'll do it as long as everything stays simple. And yeah, that's exactly what happened. I started to reach out to people amazing joy beacons from around the world. They introduced me to other amazing beacons, and so it's been rippling out. And we've got more than 30 people lined up, so we may have to do an encore or second season or something like that, you know. But yeah, so there's been this amazing experience of seeing the joy of collaboration with others who truly resonate with the message that I'm standing for, to really embody joy, and that practical joy is where it's at. So I'm not just thinking about it and, you know, thinking joy is something you experience at the end of something, but that joy, choosing from that place of joy, makes the journey amazing, and how many practical ways there are of applying that in your life. And the joy of having these amazing people come together, saying yes to this Joy Evolution Summit without having the practical details available, but really feeling into the energy of it. It's like a true divine collaboration project. And yeah, it's so exciting. I feel so honored to be facilitating this and to have had so many amazing joy beacons say yes from around the world. And it's like, yeah, really amazing.
It's so perfect that the way it all came together is an exact example of what it's like when you are following your joy. How it all flows, the pieces of the puzzle come together, you trust, take the next step, it starts to formulate, and it's simple and it's fun. It's a beautiful experience. So what can people expect if they were to be in the summit? What can they, I guess, what can you prepare them with?
This is going to be such an amazing experience for everyone to receive. And we have 30 interviews available. They're going to be broadcast on Wednesday, Thursday, Fridays. And it's starting the end of September and continues into December. So we actually have quite an extended period where these interviews are available. And the joy of these beautifully, deliciously inspiring conversations is that everyone showing up in the world with their unique gifts, their unique brilliance, is sharing their journey to joy, is sharing what sparks their joy, what zaps their joy, and shares, you know, there are some amazing insights shared that I am absolutely confident that those who are drawn to come and join us will find amazing joy sparkers in there for them to take their level of joy to a whole new experience in whichever area of their life. And so we have created a private Facebook group in which we'll be hosting the Practical Joy Experiment, because there's so much inspiration available. You can Google, you can YouTube, so many summits, amazing summits available. We wanted to give you the experience of not just receiving all this delicious inspiration, but to actually do something with it. So in the Practical Joy Experiment, we're inviting our participants to choose something that some of the speakers have shared and apply that in an area of their life where they would like to experience more joy. And then share in our community how that is transforming their life. How is that bringing up stuff? Ask for support, share support, celebrate, have this amazing experience of starting the journey, choosing these joy sparkers to apply in your life, and to actually be able to start seeing the change happen. And what excites me so much about that is that some of these tips that are shared, these joy sparkers that are shared, can seem so simple that it'd be really easy to brush them aside as like, how's that going to make a difference? Well, you'd be amazed. And when you do apply that in your life and you realize that it's the simple things, choosing to commit to that and keep showing up is going to make the biggest impact in your life and ripple out. And that when I am choosing joy, and I am experiencing more joy in my communications, in my relationships, in my expression in the world, and what I'm doing and being, then that impacts everybody in my sphere. And so imagine this amazing community coming together from all over the world who is choosing to apply these joy sparkers in their life, experience this practical joy, and truly be the joy they wish to see in the world. And that ripples out. I have a sense that the potential available for all of us here is beyond what I even can imagine. I've got a pretty big imagination.
I'm aware of that. Yes, you do. What a magical experience that everybody can look forward to. The power of community and coming together with a combined intention, and the intention being joy, and the practical strategies that allow to open up more joy in our lives. This is going to be incredible. Absolutely amazing. Yeah. Is there anything else that you would like to share about the Joy Evolution Summit?
I would just encourage people to feel, if you feel like, oh, this sounds exciting, I'd love to participate in that. Know that it's this is going to be an ongoing community here for all of us to share in, and to invite your friends, to give yourself an opportunity to participate in the series, and know that you may not even want to listen to every interview, and maybe you do. I'd highly recommend you do, because they're so juicy. But knowing that you'll be drawn to exactly the message that is right for you, and you can come back and review and catch up anytime, that by you choosing to participate, you are already saying yes to more joy in whichever area of your life. And things are going to start shifting simply by that choice alone.
Wow. I have one last question. I would love to know, what is the bigger vision? So what do you see the ripple effect of this whole summit? Knowing so many people are participating, and the ripple effect in their own personal lives and how that carries on. I'd love for you to share about that if you feel like it.
Yeah, gosh, I've had visions of this sparking joy conversations with those who are participating, with those in their lives, so that they start opening up deeper conversations in their environment, with friends, with loved ones, in family, maybe looking to share what has been their experience as they've made these, sometimes seemingly small shifts, but how choosing joy has changed their life. And imagine if we have conversations like that, where we can support each other and can find out, what is it that lights you up? What brings you the greatest joy? How can I support you in that? And if we were all supporting each other in living life, expressing our brilliance in the world in a way that brings the greatest joy to each of us, what an extraordinary world we can create together.
That's the world I want to live in. That's the world I'm creating. Oh, thank you so much. Oh, Tina, I just wanted to express my heartfelt, deepest gratitude and appreciation for you, and the influence that you've had on my personal life, on my business, on like every aspect of my life. It has only become more obvious to me in the last few months that any experience in my life, it's like an opportunity arises. The first thing I do is, it's like I go through some sort of joy machine without me even being aware of it. And I'll be like, does that bring me joy? Does it not? Does it have potential for joy? Like, can I make it more joyous? And the result is life and work and business and everything is just play and joy. And it's like my first priority. And I am so thankful that it's my first priority, because I truly enjoy all the aspects of my life and business. And I know that that is a direct result from spending so much time with you, and the ripple effect in my own life and in the people that, are surrounded by me. They're experiencing this ongoing gift. So thank you so much. So much. And for anyone who's thinking of jumping in the Joy Evolution Summit, I highly recommend this experience. And I want to thank you so much for watching and tuning in, and also for standing for joy in your life.
Thank you, Julia. Truly a joy to know you and to share this journey together.
You too. Thanks, Tina.